Heidi ho, neighbour. It's 7:41 p.m. on the 11th of March, 2026. Crazy, isn't it? So, out of nowhere, seemingly, America decides to send a bunch of people around the moon. So now we know what the backside of the moon looks like. And, yeah. So it's like one of those things, where were you when? You know? So where when you when the spaceship took off, when they took a photograph of the Earth from the back of the moon, and when they landed. So there we go. Right, let's go ahead and do this. Oh, hang on, I didn't even start the game yet. Who's this? Oh, what country is that? That is Morocco. Right, let's do this thing, as it were. Game aborted. Well, looks like Morocco doesn't like me. Okay, so this is Italy. Well, I guess I think that's Italy, isn't it? Yeah. All right, Prego, spaghetti, tagliatelle, and all that kind of stuff. Let's have a look. Okay, and then. I used to work in an Italian restaurant, and I was told, and I didn't. It wasn't for years that I found out it was a joke, because it was told deadpan seriously by one of the recruiters. They go, "Okay, why are a lot of Italian gentlemen called Tony?" The reasoning behind this, so I've been told, is that when a lot of immigrants were coming in through Ellis Island in New York from Italy, the immigration had to write all names down and stuff like that. The captains on the ship or something had to write on the luggage or label or blah 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 blah, or something. Anyway, somebody in power had to write labels, and they kind of got miffed with all these long names and stuff. So they decided just to write the letters to NY, as in to New York, on the labels. So supposedly that's why a lot of people call Tony, because it stands for to NY, to New York. And I thought that was true, and found out it's not. So you live and learn. If you've got any things that you thought were real but you found out that you weren't, please put it in the comments below. I'm trying to become a YouTuber. No, I'm not. I mean, I've got like 10 subscribers now, I think. 10, maybe more than that. I appreciate it. I really do. And, if there's anything, as I say, I got rid of the crossword puzzles, a boatload of puzzles, because a few people said that, meh. And I've separated the Wordle and Connections and the chess.com into two different categories, because from what I've been told, they kind of appeal to two different kinds of people. Chess is more kind of like sitting down, having a cup of tea and looking at the New York Times. But ironically, Wordle and Connections are in the New York Times, so that's more geared towards people who are just looking for a quick puzzle solutions thereof, if I can get them. But whatever it is. Right, so what's happening here? Things to pick up. Teach yourself to juggle. It taught me a lot of stuff. When I was taught by a professional juggler, and I'm not a professional juggler, but it's a great thing. First thing is, it's about the only exercise that stimulates both the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the brain simultaneously. Another thing, it teaches you things like, really? You want to do that? Okay, just lost the thingy. Oh, it says. There we go. Okay, no problems. And then okay, then I can go ahead and that'd be a swap though. I don't do a swap. I want to get rid of that pawn. How do I get rid of the pawn? I can do it like that. Oh yeah, so what's going to happen when you start to juggle is a couple of things. One, you're going to be dropping the ball on the floor. And then the second one is you're going to be trying to take a step forward. Now, the two things to stop doing is, one, dropping the balls on the floor. No, one thing to stop doing is to... Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, man. Okay, how else? After blood, that's the only thing I can do is move it. That sucks. And that is... waffle. Okay, I have to do it like that, don't I? Man. Okay, whatever. Really? Is this how we do now? Oh, you kidding? Wow, it looks like I'm done for. Looks like I'm done for. Okay. Oh, stepping forward. That's the thing, and the dropping the balls. Right, the dropping the balls is kind of the most important thinking about it, because the juggly person told me, okay, if you look at the ball, it's a ball full of seed. It's designed not to bounce. It's designed to drop on the floor. In fact, they're called thud balls because that's the noise they make when they land on the floor. If you look at any professional juggler, when they drop the when they drop the ball on the floor, they will immediately just pick it up without causing an incident. Do something, whatever. Pick it up and then what they call it now, continue on with what they're doing, and that's the whole thing, because gravity is a larger force than the whatever professional, what grade, a profession a juggler can be. There's only so far they can go, and so gravity is always going to win. Hence the invention of the third ball. So when the ball drops, it just lays there. It doesn't roll off. Right, I knew you'd do that. And what I could do is do a queen sacrifice. What are you doing that for? To get rid of the queen, tell the truth. It's starting to annoy me. Yep. So what I was doing, dropping the ball, blah, blah, blah. And then with that is don't get flustered, don't get frustrated. And that's the whole thing. When you drop the ball, just pick it up. And any kind of like angst you feel from doing that, just realise that that's what's meant to happen. It will happen. So that's another thing. As well as exercising both the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the brain, it also helps you with stress and strain. It's like, is there anything I can do about it other than improve? No. So then why get flustered about it? Why not just enjoy the moment as it comes? So it really transfers to different aspects in life. What else do we have? And it's good exercise for the arms and stuff like that. And it's very meditative as well. As I say, when you're what they're calling now. I forgot what the word is. There we go. See you later. When you're juggling, what happens is after a while your brain just switches off. It goes into kind of very meditative kind of thing, and time can pass without even thinking about it. And it's really cool. So. It's great at exercising both the left hand and right side of the brain, and it's great at kind of relaxation and what have you. Okay, now what we're doing, I don't know. I'm being so terrible doing the old... Okay, hang on. Now that's got to be covered. Okay, that's covered, that's not. So I can do it that way, the easiest way of doing it. And then, then we just do a bam, right in the kisser. Okay. Now what? Okay, so do that. Okay, that'll bring out the white bishop though. I don't know. I'm kind of lost. Well, they don't have a black bishop, so first of all, I think if I... Okay, how would I get rid of that? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Two things: taking it off the white, so the white bishop doesn't have a, is made superfluous. And the second thing, opening up the channel for the my white bishop to come out and go to c4, which means somehow I don't know. Okay, I can go to. There we go. I'm looking at attacking h7. Which means I've got to find some way of covering that. Now what I can do is move my pawns up from the G and H, because G6 is already covered by the knight, so if I pull those two pawns up to cover the same squares, I'll suddenly have 3 doohickeys. I'll be able to do pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. There we go, so you're doing that. I'd have to go back one, wouldn't I? Okay, you're going to pull that forward. Merde, if you take that. Excuse me, sorry. But if I do this, which means if you pull this pawn forward, which I think you were going to do that next, then I can attack it twice. And I can always, oh, I didn't see that coming. I know what you're doing. You're coming out to get a queen, aren't you? Okay. Okay, let's see what's going on here then. Okay. Okay, bishop. So I can't take that. Basically, I'm looking at getting that taken care of, so if I bring these pawns up, but still that's starting to get dicey. Okay, but if I take that, you take that. If I can get something to cover that, which I can't. But then concentrate on getting this done. If I can get that free without freeing up the castle, and then bring my bishop over here. I don't rightly know. So let's see what happens here. Okay. Oh, I see what you're doing. Bollocks. Right, you're really moving in with the pawns, aren't you? Which means you're going to then take that with that. Yeah. Yup. And right, that's gone. Or is it? Watch this. You take it, and I'll take it. So I either you take my knight with your. But you could also move your pawn forward. If you move your pawn forward, I just move my pawn up, so that doesn't really matter. Come on, my pretty. So what's he gonna do now? Is it him? I don't know. Pippo Orsatino. Okay, if you want to do that, I can do that. Okay, and then I can do that. I've just seen something I can do. Like if I move my white bishop up to c2, move my pawn to threaten his castle, he has to move the king, which means then I can use steal the pawn to take the castle. And don't I know I keep jinxing myself when I see something really cool. That's the case, like because what can they do? Well, they can move their knight to threaten. They can move it to d6, which will put my king in check, but then I can just move my king forward and take the pawn and also threaten the knight. What else can they do? I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Probably pull the castle out. Well, let's see what happens. As I think I was explaining about another thing, when I was working on motorcycles, and I'm not a motorcycle mechanic, I'm just like an apprentice. Basically, my thought was, when I realised that I'd have to be either behind the bars or behind the wheel of an internal combustion engine later in my life, I was my whole thought was like, what happens if I'm in a situation where I hear a noise or something happens to where I don't know what's going on. So I accidented myself into a position where I became an apprentice mechanic, and I was working for Rob, who he used to be a coach mechanic. I used to work on buses, and then Dale, who's a motorcycle mechanic, he used to know everything about. Oh, okay, mad, really? Okay, whatevs. You can do that still. Really? Is this what you do? Is this how you do? Okay. And I'll do. Hang on. No, I can't have to do that then, don't I? And then you take my pawn. Okay. Bollocks. Melons. Okay. Yeah, this person's gonna beat me. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Pirsig, I think his name is. I could be mistaken. So that's where you go. Now what do? I don't rightly know. I've got to maybe get this out. Okay, move this out. I don't know why I did that. I'm going to do it anyway. And one bit that I remember was where basically the premise of the story is him and his friend are taking a ride across America, and this person, wow, they are really going for broke, aren't they? They're gonna go, hang on, there's nothing I can do. Scheisse. If I go there, you just move the pawn that way, but until I can do that, okay, I can get out of the way. Now, the narrator, their thing was that... bollocks. Okay, whatever. Their thing was that they... they work on their own motorcycle. That's where they find the pleasure. They go like, oh, okay, let's work on my own motorcycle. That's where I find pleasure. And hang on, what do you mean I can't go there? Okay, bollocks. And then the friend that they're riding with is they're more like, well, if the motorcycle breaks, we just take it to the mechanic. And so that's where take the pawn to the castle. And that's where that went, wasn't it, Meow? Oh, you can't, because I'll just take your castle with your castle. So there was this time where they're riding along, and he hears this small tapping noise in the engine, or something similar, and he starts to think, okay, what could it be? So he's basically walking his mind through the engine. Could it be the tap? I don't know if it was a 2-cylinder or 4-cylinder motorcycle, probably 4-cylinder, but could it be this, could it be that, could it be that, okay, so and then it suddenly dawned on me, he says, what the hell am I doing? It's like, I'm out on a motorcycle ride, I'm enjoying the wonders of the American countryside, and all I'm doing now, you're kidding, really, dude, this guy, man. Yeah, I've lost it. I'm lost. I've failed. Whatever, just do it. Come on, mind, my money, my money, my mind. Yep, so there's this thing called Moo. I don't pronunciation MU. I read it in a book, so I've never heard it being pronounced. And it is this Eastern philosophical way of saying, well, if it's is it something that is, you know, if it basically putting something into, well, don't think about it unless other things happen. So run through your head, okay, is this a new noise? Yes. Is it getting any worse? No. Is it altering in any way the performance of a motorcycle? No. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll put it in the back of my mind and keep a little eye on it just in case it does get worse, and then the next time we stop, have a quick look to see if it's something obvious. And okay, so what have you done now? So you're doing that. Bollocks on my map, bollocks on my map, bollocks on my map, bollocks on my melon. Okay, so do that. And I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, it's a an interesting book. It's kind of basically what happened is Dale, the motorcycle mechanic, he gave me a motorcycle. It was a CZ175 Czechoslovakian 175cc single cylinder off-road trails bike, off-road on-road trails bike rather, and it was. Okay, so well, I don't know what you're doing, but let's go ahead and do. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, do that. And he basically, that was my quest. So I'd work with them, doing things like sanding and paint stripping and cracking nuts and help change gearboxes and clutches and other, stuff that you would have to do as a apprentice motorcycle mechanic. Okay. Really? I don't know what's going on. So you're doing that then? Okay, well, I'll just do that then. And in my spare time, I'd work on building the motorcycle. And then, because I explained to him, it's like, and it's like, so you want to become a mechanic? No, it's just, I know that I'll be so I just want to know, learn about the workings of the motorcycle, so that's of the internal combustion engine. So he said, okay, well, this is your side project, you work on it, I'll get it all functioning and stuff like that. Not only will you learn about the workings of the internal combustion engine, but you'll also have a hands-on appreciation. So we stripped the whole thing, honed the barrel and the head of it. Didn't think we got into the bottom end of the engine, but we did later on. I had a BSA staff. I had 250cc after I passed my license. What else was there? Just basically, strip the thing, fix the brakes, all that stuff, and blah, 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 blah. I don't bloody know. You got to go down one, and then I can go across one. I can do that, and then you got to... Excuse me. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, so I don't know where to go with that, but yep, I've forgotten. I know I was talking about for some reason, but I've forgotten. Joy of the hospital incident. Yep, I wish I could find out why. What it is, what I did. Oh, I know what I can do. Why I moved my castle? Why I moved my king? I should have moved my castle and put him in check. Now I could have taken the pawn. Let's see what they do next. I mean, they're going to be moving the knight. There you go. And I'll put you in check. Meow, 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 meow. Okay. So this is kind of the end game now, isn't it? Which is what there's 11:20. So I call it 11:11 because I remember it, because it's one of those thingies to the thingies to the thingies and what's it. Okay. Meh. Oh, you're taking my castle, you bear swinkle. Alright, so how can I do this? Nothing really. Nope, I'm done. Bollocks. Hey, meow. Ooh, you're all molting. Yep. There he is. Ooh, he's right up. Can you hear him? There he's right up with the microphone now. Because nothing can be mine. Everything has to be ours. Isn't that right, meow? Meow, meow, meow. Pay, pay, love, love. Oh, bollocks. Wat waffle. I don't bloody know. Yeah, they've won. There's nothing I can just painfully... Okay. Nothing I can do. Meow, 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 meow. I got my mind and my money in my pocket. So yesterday I was pleasantly honoured to be shown a film from 1979 called The Warriors. It's been mentioned in passing, but never I've never had the chance to see it, but yesterday, what an amazing film. I thought it was kind of a musical because along the way it was referred to as something similar to Hair, and I think it was because it was maybe done with similar production people, also maybe because it was done in New York, which is where Hair was shot on a shoestring budget, blah 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 blah. But it wasn't a musical. It was actually a really, really good film. Very well made, and surprisingly, it was amazing, and it was yeah, it was a very good movie. I can highly recommend it. It's done in 1979, and basically it was called The Warriors. It's about a modern version of New York, or a depiction of New York, blah blah blah, where gangs are ruling everything. And there's this guy called Cerebus or something like that, he gets all the gangs together, and he basically says, hey dudes, you realise what's happened, don't you, is if you look at us, I think he got 9 representatives of each gang, and he said, we have about 1,000 people here, and what they call it now, why are we fighting? Why don't we just all get on to... Hang on. You Finkel. Meld. I'm done. There we go, take the bloody thing, I don't care. Yeah. Yup. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. And I don't think this game has stalemate. I think it's just, it keeps going. Yeah. Yep. And there's nothing I can do, is there? Nope, there's nothing I can do. I'll just resign. Where's the right resign button? There we go. Okay, many thanks. Also, many thanks. Many thanks. Do snot, snit, snot, snit, snot, snit, snot, snit, snot, sisno. And then we go to resign. And then resign. Douche. There we go. That's kind of a close game. I mean, yeah, they had it in the bag, man. So yeah, right, enough. That's it. What was I talking about? I don't know. But then again, that's where it is now. Anyway, well, I hope everything's fine. You enjoy the rest of the weekend, and have fun. And I've got another catchphrase: look at the sky more often. I know.